Reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you that are calling in, please ensure that you have your phone muted by pressing *6 on your phone line. And thank you. We will begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to continue with Women's History Month recognition. On average, women make 80 cents on the dollar for every dollar that men make, and women still do not have equal rights ratified in the Constitution, which is, I was reminded of that last week by our good friend Carol DePaula, which has failed decade after decade in the United States. That's why organizations like the Pan-Hellenic Council are so important. The sororities that help young women by focusing on professional leadership and empowering women. So I would like to welcome this morning Leisha West, president of Alpha Kappa Alpha. This sorority is one of 14 local sororities and fraternities in the council. Welcome, Miss West. The floor is yours.
Franklin County Commissioners, to the Franklin County Commissioners, John O'Grady and Kevin Boyce, and all those assembled today, good morning. Thank you for this invitation and opportunity to speak with you in recognition of Women's History Month. My name is Leisha West, and I currently serve as the president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Psi Eta Omega chapter in Columbus, Ohio. And some of you may or may not know, but Alpha Kappa Alpha is the oldest Greek letter organization established in America by Black college women. Founded on January 15, 1908 by 9 students at Howard University in Washington, D.C., led by Ethel Hedgeman. These 9 women, a generation from slavery, were committed leaders while nurturing each other's unmet needs, persistent to use their skills and authority to galvanize women to be the first Black sorority. As membership in the sorority grew on campus and as those graduated, it was important to move the sorority beyond the college years, also exerting an effective influence throughout adult life. So in 1913, the sorority became incorporated as a perpetual body with the power to organize, institute, and charter subordinate chapters whose purpose and objectives would be to educate and would be to promote the intellectual standard and mutual uplift of its members. And this is considered the official launch to empower women. All had a desire to change the world, to improve our social, political, and economic status of African Americans, women, and all others across the world. They stood on the foundation of sisterhood and service to all mankind. Today, the sorority is 114 years old, having over 320,000 members, 1,046 chapters in 45 states, 1 U.S. territory, and 10 countries. Our international president is Dr. Glenda Baskin Glover, and her 2018 to 2022 theme has been exemplifying excellence through sustainable service, focusing on historically Black colleges and universities, women's health care and wellness, building economic legacy, the arts, and global impact, with a signature program for high school students' college application process. It is the responsibility for all chapters to carry the theme through services activities within the community to empower women. Here is what Psi Eta Omega chapter, which is a local chapter in Columbus, Ohio, and surrounding areas, has done in the community. We have partnered with the YWCA Family Shelter to donate items and prepare and serve meals for women and their families. We have partnered with the Pickerington Food Pantry and Mid-Ohio Food Bank to donate items and volunteer. We've also volunteered at the Furniture Bank of Ohio. We've donated blankets and holiday ornaments to nursing home residents. We partner with the Celebrate One to host community first birthday parties. We've also supported local Black-owned businesses, female-owned businesses, and minority-owned businesses, implemented a female youth group, grades 8 through 12, and host monthly workshops to empower them. We've hosted a variety of women's health activities addressing breast cancer awareness, heart health, healthy eating, and caring for caregivers. We've hosted credit repair monitoring, financial planning workshops. We've also hosted an AKA Day at the Capitol to invite women leaders in the community to discuss advocacy, legislative, public policy, and social justice issues. We've donated items to local veterans and refugees, and we also have supported financially HBCUs and conducted college tours for our high school students. And of course, awarded a host of scholarships to high school seniors to promote them moving forward in higher education. We've donated toys to the female inmates at the Ohio Reformatory for Women to give to their children for their Mom and Kids Day, highlighted females well-known in the arts. As previously mentioned, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is one of 9 Black Greek letter organizations in Columbus and surrounding areas, consisting of 4 sororities and 5 fraternities. They are as follows: Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity. Together, we are all members of the National Pan-Hellenic Council, and we collectively come together monthly to exchange information from our respective organizations, engage in cooperative programming and initiatives. The focus is camaraderie, academic excellence, and service in the local community. I want to also, if I would also be able to recognize, I know this is Social Work Month, and I am a social worker at Franklin County Children's Services, and also serving as the first Black female ombudsman of the agency. And my membership in Alpha Kappa Alpha has greatly influenced and shaped who I have become in the work that I do today, which is promoting social change, development, cohesion, and empowerment of people and communities. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. If you have any questions.
Please.
Thank you, President O'Grady, and or I would say Acting President O'Grady.
I'm just
I
Commissioner
don't want to
today.
take Commissioner Crowley's shine there, but Ms. West, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing some of the history of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I myself am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, a Black Greek organization in the Pan-Hellenic Council, and I understand the work that we collectively do and what we collectively represent, not just for the Black community, but for the broader community in general. And so thank you for your leadership as president. I know that's a lot of work. I know that is a heavy lift. But I also wanted to just acknowledge for those who may be listening or watching that President Crowley is a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as our Vice President, Kamala Harris, is a member of the sorority. And I think it really speaks to not just the community commitment that AK represents and has, but the leadership that is embedded in the women who are a part of the organization. You know, I've seen a close-up and personal back when I was in college and today, just the work that you all do, but moreover, the commitment that exists and that's part of the foundation of your organization. I know it is for all Black Greek organizations, but AKs very specifically stand out. And I really want to just encourage you, thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of such a tremendous organization that uplifts our community.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for all that you're doing. Appreciate all the work that you guys do and the charitable work that the organizations do. You know, it matters. It matters. Obviously, as county commissioners, we, you know, that any organization out there that does the type of work that you guys do and the volume of work that you guys do, that supplements the work that we do in the county, and you know, being at Children's Services. And so just appreciate all effort that you put into your work every day. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate, Ms. West, you being here today. You are welcome to stay with us for the remainder of the meeting if you'd like and see what we do all day. But we know you have a busy schedule as well, so if you'd like to move on with the rest of your day, you're welcome to do that as well. We also want to welcome today Brian Ross, the President and CEO of Experience Columbus, and Shannon Jones, Experience Columbus Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and all that they do. Highlighting Columbus, they also have taken the time to lead the Diversity Apprenticeship Program, which was sponsored by this board. They are here today with graduates of the program, and we are excited to hear more about it. Mr. Ross, will you be leading us off today?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner President, Commissioner O'Grady today, and also to Commissioner Boyce. I just want to start off by saying thank you very much. We truly appreciate your support and commitment to the Diversity Apprentice Program. We as an organization are committed to growing racial equity in our travel economy, and cannot do that without the support of the county commissioners. The city also helped as a partner, and the Columbus Foundation. But what I can share with you, and what you're about to hear from Shannon, is we are working on measurable impact with this Diversity Apprentice Program. So I just want to say thank you, but the real stars are going to come up here in a second. I do want to introduce Shannon Jones. She is running the Diversity Apprentice Program, an absolute superstar, very passionate about this, and quite honestly, we're very fortunate to have her on the team, and I know she'll introduce some of our very talented apprentices as well. So Shannon, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Brian. First and foremost, good morning, and thank you for welcoming Experience Columbus, the Greater Columbus Sports Commission, and the Diversity Apprenticeship Program to your meeting this morning. We are absolutely thrilled to be able to share an overview of our program, provide an update on where things are, and introduce you to our amazing first cohort of apprentices that will be graduating from our program next week. Like Brian mentioned, my name is Shannon Jones, and I am the Director of DE&I Programming at Experience Columbus, and I have the absolute privilege of managing the Diversity Apprenticeship Program. So first, I'll start off with a brief history of the program. So this program was actually created by an organization called Tourism Diversity Matters, and their main goal is to help tourist organizations be more intentional about their DE&I efforts. They have 4 pillars that they focus on, one of which was the Diversity Apprenticeship Program. Our CEO, Brian Ross, who you just heard from, heard about the program and wanted to bring it to Columbus. He pitched the idea to the city, to the county, and the Columbus Foundation, and we were able to get funding for the program over the next 2 years, and we could not be more grateful. Our industry, the travel industry, tourism industry, hospitality industry, whatever you would like to call it, is an amazing industry, and we're thrilled to be part of it. But like many industries in our society, it lacks diversity. Most of the diversity lives in entry-level positions, but the higher you go up in these organizations, they become more male and frankly, more white. So this program was designed to create a pipeline for minority individuals to gain access to mid-level positions. This was so they could help shape the overall culture of those organizations and make them more equitable for all. So the program itself is 600 hours over 6 months, and it provides a hands-on learning opportunity for the apprentices at either one host site or 2 host sites. So the way that it works is that apprentices go through an interview process here at Experience Columbus, but they spend their 6 months at various host sites around the city. We are so grateful for our host sites that have participated in the program. They include Experience Columbus, the Greater Columbus Sports Commission, the Convention Center, Hilton Downtown Easton, COSI, Franklin Park Conservatory, the Hyatt, Concord Hotels, Columbus Regional Airport Authority, Cameron Mitchell Restaurants, Sonesta Hotels, just to name a few. So during their apprenticeship program, they get a 360 view of the organization. So they learn about the marketing, sales, operations, visitor experience, finance, and HR. And upon the successful completion of the program, they are offered a full-time position at one of their host sites. And this is really the most important part of the program, because the goal of this program is not just to get people a job, but to help find and maintain BIPOC individuals who find long-term success in careers in this industry. So our first cohort launched in September of 2021 with 6 apprentices. Currently, 5 out of the 6 are still in the program, and I will introduce them to you now. So when I say your name, just give a little wave so we can see who you are. So first up is Maya Gordon. She spent 3 months at Concord and 3 months at the Hyatt. Next up was Brendan Hopper. He spent his first half of his apprenticeship in restaurants and his second half here at Experience Columbus, working with our sales team. Next is Henry LaChica. He spent 3 months at the
Hey,
Hilton
Shannon, are we
downtown.
supposed to be seeing them when you say their names?
Oh,
Because they're
I
not
was
coming
hoping
on.
so, but if not, that's okay.
Yeah, we're
I'll just say their names. Sorry
Okay,
about
that's
that.
okay, yeah.
So next up is Henry LaChica. He spent 3 months at Hilton downtown and 3 months at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. Next is Efwa Amisa Agri. She spent 6 months at the Columbus Regional Airport Authority. And last, but certainly not least, Alicia Norman, who spent 6 months at Experience Columbus with our Destination Experience team. So those 6 individuals are on the call, but I guess we cannot see them, which
Well,
is
now we can't.
okay.
They
Oh,
corrected
they're
it
on now.
after
Yeah,
you.
now
After
they're
yeah.
on the full screen, so
Yeah,
you can see
if you
them.
all could wave.
Hey,
Our
guys.
amazing first cohort, they will be graduating at next week, at the end of the week on Friday. So as of right now, all of our apprentices are in the process of being offered positions, while some of them have already accepted. And we will be having an end of year program celebration for these apprentices next Wednesday. Our second cohort launched in January of 2022. We have 5 new apprentices and they will graduate in July. Our goal is to have, our very ambitious goal, which is definitely attainable, is to have at least 32 apprentices by the summer of 2023. And even though this is just a 2-year program right now, our hope is to absolutely continue it beyond that, because we know that 2 years is certainly not enough to make a measurable change in our Columbus community. Last but not least, I will mention that our apprenticeship program was recognized by PR News, and it was nominated for a Social Impact Award, which I think just goes to show how important this work is and how needed it is, not only in our Columbus community, but nationally. Thank you again for having us this morning, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
I just want to say to all of you, I'm really excited about this program. One, I want to congratulate you, Ms. Jones, as well as you, Mr. Ross, on the development of this type of partnership. This is the type of thing that over time can really have a positive impact in our community. And so I love to see the diversity in both race and gender and everything in between. And so I'm really excited that you're doing this. And I hope that you'll have time at somewhere along the apprenticeship program. I hope there's an opportunity to come and spend time here at Franklin County and see how we partner with agencies like Experience Columbus to ensure that we're promoting our community and facilitating these convenings and conferences, or whatever you want to call them. You know, we're being a national partners in this, and that's the part I want you all to understand, that we engage with Experience Columbus because we know the value of promoting our brand across this country and competing with other communities in the Midwest and even nationally. And so we look forward to you coming and spend some time here at Franklin County.
So Brian, Shannon, congratulations. This is exactly the type of thing that that we were thinking of, that we were looking at, that we were hoping for when we started investing in this type of work, when we started partnering with folks on this type of work. And to the rest of you, congratulations on great effort, great. This is just wonderful stuff. The one thing I would suggest to all of you and would like to have to help open everybody's eyes to, and would hope that everybody would begin to, if you haven't been paying attention to it, that you would start paying attention to it and start making sure that you are aware of is there's a bill in the legislature right now, House Bill 327. House Bill 327 is a bill that would seek to change, or at the very least have a very chilling effect on this type of work. It's a bill that is, for lack of a better term, is all about divisive issues, as they refer to it in the legislature. And so it would have a very, very chilling effect in local government, county government in particular, but local government, in higher education, and in local business, on our ability and your ability to be able to promote DEI work. And we here at Franklin County are very much monitoring this bill and working hard with our colleagues across the state and county governments across the state to do what we can to stop this bill. We have friends on both sides of the aisle that are very, very helpful here. We have a lot of members of our county commissioners that are former legislators, former Republican legislators, that are being very, very helpful in this regard, because they understand its negative impact on local government, on business, on higher education. So if you can, do what you can to pay attention to House Bill 327, and if you have the ability to be able to be helpful or impactful on this bill, let us know. We certainly can help plug people in, but it's a bill that will have a chilling effect on this type of work, and we are monitoring it, and we are doing what we can to try to stop it. So, but thank you so much for the work that you're doing. This is exactly what it was, what the type of stuff that Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner Crowley and previously Commissioner Brown and I, this is the type of stuff that we envisioned, and we appreciate your partnership. All right. Thanks, guys. Again, you guys are welcome to stick around and pay attention to the rest of our meeting if you'd like, but if you have a busy day, you're welcome to head off to your busy day, so thank you. Can I get an approval of the minutes of the March 8th, 2022 general session and the March 10th, 2022 briefing session? Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
All right, on to the Domestic Relations Division.
Resolution number 19522. Resolution authorizing a 2-year agreement with Daniel L. Davids, Ph.D. Incorporated, Forum, Ohio, LLC, and Netcare Corporation for various psychological services in the amount of $360,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director. This resolution is requesting the approval of 3 agreements for psychological evaluations that have been ordered by the court. The agreements are with Dan Davis, Inc. and Netcare Corporation, both in the amount of $90,000, and Forum, Ohio is in the amount of $180,000. The cost for each evaluation will remain fixed for 2 years. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 195-22.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 19522 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barb. Have a good day.
Thanks.
All right, the coroner.
Resolution number 19622. Resolution authorizing an agreement with Forensic Pathology Services, LLC, doing business as Forensic Pathology Staffing, a forensic services consulting firm, or locum physician services, in the amount of $720,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Amanda Alvarez-Wright. I am the Director of Operations representing Dr. Annie Huerti for the Forensic Science Center. The service is for an agreement with Forensic Pathology Services providing consulting for locum pathologists to come into our office to provide services for autopsies and performing any type of examination. These services are necessary due to the deficit in forensic pathology at the coroner's office at this time. The term will be for an agreement for 1 year with 3 one-year extension options, and the amount is not to exceed $720,000. We ask for your approval of this resolution pending any questions.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 196-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 19622 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care. All right, on to the engineer. We have a public hearing. Can the clerk please read the public hearing?
Resolution regarding plans approved for the improvement of Clark State Road, County Road number 95, between Wagner Road and Babbitt Road, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
All right, would like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on the public hearing? All right, seeing that there's no one, I would like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 19722. Plans approved for the improvement of Clark State Road, County Road number 95, between Wagner Road and Babbitt Road, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer. This roadway and drainage project is in the northeast part of the county in Jefferson Township along Clark State Road between Wagner Road and Babbitt Road. With this resolution, I'm asking you to approve and sign the plans so we can schedule the project for construction. If not already, I will see that the title sheet is delivered to the clerk for you all to sign. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Ready? If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 197-22.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes, excuse me.
Resolution number 19722 has been adopted. Resolution number 19822. Burgess and Nyepel Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer in performing a feasibility study for the Trayview Road, County Road number 27 at Hague Avenue, County Road number 66, Improvement Project, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $76,047.50.
This capital improvement project is in the northwest part of the county of the line between Franklin Township and Norwich Township at the intersection of Trayview Road and Hague Avenue. This resolution is for a feasibility study contract with Burgess and Nyepel to investigate safety improvements at the existing signalized intersection. Burgess and Nyepel is a local engineering firm, and we utilize the qualifications-based selection process. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
Does Norwich Township goes all the way down there?
Yes, that Trayview Road, that's the line right between Norwich and Franklin Township.
All right, sorry, I had no idea. That shocked me. Sorry.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 198-22.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 19822 has been adopted. Resolution number 19922. Replacement or rehabilitation of various bridges and structures in Franklin County, Ohio declared necessary.
This resolution declares 3 bridge projects necessary as follows. Man Road Bridge over a tributary in Jefferson Township, Leopard Road Shared Use Path Connector Bridge over Hayden Run in Norwich Township, and the Magnolia Trail Pedestrian Bridge over a tributary in the village of Lockbourne. Approval of this resolution will allow the engineer's office to begin design work for each one. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 199-22.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 19922 has been adopted.
Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, too.
Take care, thank you. All right, the sheriff.
Resolution number 222. Resolution authorizing a no-cost government study and services agreement with Flock Group Incorporated for a one-year trial period to utilize 25 license plate readers for investigative purposes.
Morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Baldwin, and along with me is Chief Deputy Jim Gilbert of our Patrol Bureau to answer any specific questions you may have. This resolution will authorize a one-year no-cost contract with Flock Group Incorporated to utilize 25 stationary license plate readers. These will be stationed in strategic areas around the county to help solve crimes and prevent criminal activity. Local agencies such as Reynoldsburg, Upper Arlington, and Whitehall have already used these cameras and have shown some success stories. Any questions, I'll ask approval of this resolution.
You know, so Dave, I wasn't in briefing the other day, and I apologize, I missed this one. Can you explain this thing to me? Because as I read this, and I don't have the resolution in front of me, but as I read this, I gotta be honest with you, this sounds a little bit like a profiling resolution, and can you explain this to me a little bit? Tell me more about this resolution. I'm just a little antsy about it. I wasn't in the resolution, or I wasn't in briefing the other day so I would have asked questions about this had I had a chance. I was busy last week. I was out and I didn't get a chance to read this. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. And I apologize to do this, and I apologize doing this in session as opposed to doing it last week. I should have done it.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners, those that are on the call. This
Chief
technology
Gilbert.
it started about 2 years ago, being utilized in other areas in the United States. And then here recently, Reynoldsburg was the first, or Upper Arlington was actually the first agency to look at this technology. Reynoldsburg has had great success with it. Whitehall, they're up and running and they've had some success with it. The Ohio State University, along with a partnership with the Columbus Division of Public Safety, they've got cameras that are up in the campus area where they've seen a lot of car break-ins, a lot of shootings, things of that nature. So it takes the subjectivity out of policing. These are stationary cameras on the side of the road, without divulging too much information, because of the tactics that are being utilized by law enforcement. All it snaps is a picture of the license plate in the back of the car. Does not take any pictures inside the car. We don't know who's driving the car, but it's being utilized as a tool to help law enforcement as it relates to homicides, felonious assaults, aggravated burglaries, aggravated robberies. So the availability for law enforcement to, at least in an area where a crime occurred, have the availability to put the type of vehicle in, or get a description from a 911 caller, or a victim who's been shot can give a description of a car. It's the availability for law enforcement, if the cameras are in that area, to pull data and information. Also, it's the availability for us to upload missing adults, stolen vehicles, vehicles used in homicides. And just as a case example, in Upper Arlington, there was a female who murdered her boyfriend in West Virginia, and nobody knew she was coming to Upper Arlington. One of their stationary plate readers hit on her vehicle that West Virginia entered into the database as wanted nationwide for a homicide. They were able to locate her in about 5 minutes in Upper Arlington. She was taken into custody, firearm in the car, and safely taken into custody because of this technology. So what it does is it alerts our computers in the cruisers. It alerts dispatch of a vehicle that went past one of these plate readers that is already entered, meaning they are already wanted for a crime. It is a stolen vehicle, things of that nature. So it's the availability for us to use the technology that way. And at the same time, if we have homicides or shootings that occur, the availability for us to enter the information in the database once we get a vehicle description and attempt to at least narrow down where that vehicle might have come from or where that vehicle's been. So Reynoldsburg had a late night shooting at a Taco Bell, for example, and almost within 5-10 minutes, they were able to safely apprehend the individual once a suspect description was given. They checked the cameras, knew which way the vehicle had traveled, and were able to successfully take that person into custody, helping helping with the case for their felonious assault or shooting that occurred. So there is no images whatsoever of the inside of the vehicle. This is vehicles that are going away from the camera, so you're only capturing the back of the camera. And then there's a transparency portal that is open, and that documentation has been provided for transparency purposes. That data is stored temporarily, and then it's immediately released. So the only way that data is actually transmitted or law enforcement is known of that data is if it involves a crime. Hopefully that answers your questions, Commissioner.
So Chief, if how do you pick the location? I mean, if you're not, if you're not picking, the vehicles, you're picking the location, how do you choose the location or the area that you're choosing, that you guys?
So good question. Those locations are picked based on our volumes of calls related to high crimes, shootings, thefts. Without giving too much information, there's a large retail theft location that we continue to have problems with. So we're going to obviously potentially target that area with some of these plate reader cameras. What's indicative of those that are involved in retail theft is it's not just an opportunity theft, it's much broader. They're going from store to store to store, from location to location. So the availability to put them there, the availability to put them in high traffic areas where we have had concerns related to serious crimes. So it's going to be based on data-driven information as it relates to crimes that we've seen. The uniqueness to us being the Franklin County Sheriff's Office is obviously we have various jurisdictions that we're in and out of, and responsibilities that we have primary law enforcement responsibilities to respond to. I can tell you that Prairie Township and the township trustees out there are very interested in this technology, and they've already asked if we would give consideration to place some out there related to areas of concern that some of the residents have talked about related to drug activity, things of that nature. So that's going to be driven by crime data.
Yeah, thank you, President O'Grady. I think you
I'm
kick
getting
out of that.
promoted left and right. I'm hoping Commissioner Crowley's not watching.
And thank you, Chief Deputy Gilbert. Good to see you. And this might be a question for the prosecutor's office. So you probably might want to go to the podium too, just in case it's something you can help with. How about the data storage? Who is going to hold the data? How long is the data going to be held? And moreover, who can access that data? Is it subject to a public records request?
Yes. Do you want the prosecutor's office to answer that, or you want my input, sir?
I don't know. Whoever has the answer.
Well,
So it's no different than our current system that we use. That the computers in the cars, if a deputy was to run a license plate and it was to come back stolen, then obviously we would make that traffic stop. That information then is relayed to the prosecutor's office that this was a vehicle hit conducted by a random license plate being entered by a deputy. If we make a traffic stop and we utilize that information, law enforcement is the only individuals that have access to that information related to the information that we have now. We have license plate readers now on our vehicles. What this basically does, and I'll quote the Reynoldsburg police chief, it's like putting 30 additional officers out on the street, because while the officers are on patrol handling calls to service, these plate readers are working to identify vehicles that have been used in serious crimes and the vehicles that have been used in major offenses. So that information is in our 90-day retention record that we currently operate under the Ohio Revised Code related to retention records for information that we utilize that is given out of the National Crime Information Center database. This is a database that all law enforcement agencies across the United States are using. So it's in line with our retention records of 90 days. And hopefully that answers your question.
Well, is it subject to a public records request? Too?
Every record that is under the control of the Franklin County Sheriff's Office is subject to a request. Whether or not those records are released are subject to whether or not there's a specific exception applicable to the record, or whether the record exists based on the retention schedule. Chief Gilbert has indicated that the retention schedule for these specific records according to their schedule, is 90 days. So a request would come in, they'd make a determination of whether or not the record is available. If it's a record that is available, the next step would be, is there applicable exception to not release the record?
Got a question. Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Chief Gilbert, Prosecuting Attorney's Office, Janine Gilbert. Is there, Hummer, is there a 90-day period where all the plates are kept once they're read for 90 days? Or are the ones that are hot, so to speak, where they've been connected with a crime, those would be kept for 90 days and subject to the public records request? Or would every plate that's read on a particular street be kept for 90 days? How does that work?
Only the information that a red flag goes off on. So if it's a vehicle wanted out of a shooting, that information then gets transmitted to our terminals. Then at that point, that would be subject to the 90-day retention. The other information is not provided to us. It's a third-party vendor. That information is not given to us because the vehicle going by, the license plate reader, it's no different than an ODOT camera now that is capturing images going by. It only will notify us if that vehicle is in the system as being an entered stolen vehicle, or the person is wanted for a specific crime associated with that vehicle. It's no different than what we currently have now in our cars. It's just not the deputy manually putting in the information. It's going past the plate reader. The Ohio State University, as I said earlier, is looking at this, and they've got 30 cameras now that they're in the campus area, and they're looking to expand many more cameras due to the concerns that they've had. So, this technology is being utilized by detectives as it relates, as I said earlier, to unsolved homicides and shootings. It's a lot more utilized for that, as it is going to be utilized for the hits that just come up on a routine basis. There's many success stories related to how it's been very helpful in unsolved crimes related to shootings.
A couple more questions, if I may. Okay, thank you. So Chief, Deputy Chief, what triggers the photo? How does it get triggered?
So the camera is set up on a pole that has a solar panel on it that charges based on solar energy. It's a constant snapping of the image. It's based on motion. So as the vehicle goes past, it'll take an image of the plate in the back of the car, and then it'll quickly, however computers work, it'll quickly check it with the database to ensure that vehicle isn't already entered into the system. If it's not entered into the system, no activation goes off to law enforcement, and then it's stored in there so that you can go back up to 30 days. If you had a shooting involving a black BMW with no license plates, and you wanted to check the cameras to see if any black BMWs with no license plates were in that area, you could put in a black BMW, and it would pop up all black BMWs that went by with no license plates. So that you can trigger and ask for a response of the data from Flock if you're investigating a crime, and that vehicle to check to see if that vehicle had passed by the plate. But there's no activations that go off unless for some reason it's already into the database. Now we will not, it's not just our agency that's entering this information. As I said earlier, it could be an outside agency from Southern Ohio to an agency in Chicago that's looking for a vehicle that's wanted out of a crime, and then it gets entered into a national database. So yeah, we're not getting notifications, 30 or 40 a minute or anything like that. It's only if something triggers and the vehicle's already entered into the system as being involved in something.
Right, but essentially what you're saying is every license plate that goes through the camera's lens will be checked.
Yes.
And so the ones that are in the system will be red flagged and then go to the next step. The others will not be.
Correct, for felonies of violence and for stolen vehicles.
Have you all engaged? But one of the concerns I've got is to Commissioner O'Grady's point, you know, the profiling piece, and I hear what you're saying about it's not, but there are levels to profiling, and you can be systemic about it, and I want to ensure that we're not doing that. But I guess the question I have is, what kind of community engagement have you had other than talking to other law enforcement officers, such as, you know, the NAACP, the Urban League, the ACLU, or whoever might be looking at this? What kind of conversations or engagement have you had with those entities to just get some feedback and maybe look at the policies that might protect the rights of everyday people?
So that's a good question, Commissioner. This is this is a 1-year pilot project, obviously, for us to get an idea if this is something that we believe would help reduce and bring down some of the crime statistics that other agencies have had success with. So it was our opportunity to try to get this as a 1-year pilot project to see if it was even valuable for us to continue. As of right now, this was the first stage to at least get started. We have no issues with the sheriff's office, and Sheriff Baldwin has no issues with having those conversations and discussions with those that are interested. There's a transparency, a part of this. The company prides itself on transparency. The information that the company provides related to the types of vehicles that are strictly information sent to law enforcement only involves those vehicles that are involved in criminal activity. So I understand the question of transparency and the issue of potential profiling, but I can tell you and assure you that it has nothing to do whatsoever with who's operating the vehicle. It's information related to that license plate or the make and model of that vehicle as it relates to a serious crime. You know, we're not going to be pulling anybody over related to anything very minor. Equipment violations, that's not what this technology is for. We have more important things to do related to ensuring that we're protecting the citizens, ensuring for their transparency as it relates to this equipment. So this equipment is for very serious crimes and individuals that are operating, because as we know, criminals are very mobile, involving that, you know, for driving from point A to point B in vehicles, and indicative of what we've seen with the retail theft aspect of this. A lot of jurisdictions are finding a lot of success working with their partnering businesses, their community members. Reynoldsburg City Council, after they were presented with a 30-day trial period, ordered more cameras. And there's an article that's been submitted from the Columbus Dispatch that Scott Gerfen did in regards to comments in there, very supportive of Reynoldsburg council members and residents. So yes, we would have those conversations. We just wanted to get started with a pilot project to see if they were going to be successful or not. That's why we were asking and entertaining the 1-year trial period that was being offered to us through the Major County Sheriff's Association.
Yeah, I mean, Commissioner Grady, I guess where I am, I just feel like I have more questions than I do answers. And I would say that given the length of time we took to evaluate body cameras and create, you know, a structure for that, and then to be so quick to pull the lever here, I'm a little uncomfortable. I'd be a no vote on this proposal, and even if we table it, which I'm okay with doing, because I don't know if Commissioner O'Connell will be back by then, but even if we table it, I'm probably still going to be a no vote, even after we've got a deeper dive into it. So, I mean, we can either vote now, table it, and give them until Thursday. I know this pilot structure's in place, and I apologize, Deputy Chief, but that's just how I feel. You know, I just I'm a little uneasy about this for a variety of reasons. I don't want to take up the rest of this time with my concerns that I have, because there are a lot, but. You know, I'm going to be a no. So, I mean, we can table it and give them a little more time to kind of flesh out some of the policy stuff with us, but probably still going to be a no after that.
I hear you. So, Chief, I think what we'll do is, and Commissioner, you could move to table it, and we'll do that, because I think we should vote to table it.
Okay.
I hear you. I kind of agree with you on it. I kind of want to give Dallas and his team, Sheriff Baldwin and his team, time on this, although I guess that it's time sensitive. what we're
Yeah.
hearing. We'll let, just one second, Administrator, we'll hear from you on this as well. I asked a question to start with, and then the farther into this thing, just the more questions I'm coming up with. I don't believe, that Sheriff Baldwin and his folks would necessarily allow this technology to be misused.
Commissioner, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's hard to hear you.
I apologize, my microphone was off. I don't believe that, that Sheriff Baldwin and his team would allow this technology to be misused, but I think that there is certainly potential here, and another law enforcement agency would potentially, or could potentially misuse this
And
technology.
if I could just add too, one of the concerns I have is the third-party holder of that information. So when you say
That's
that,
right.
again, all these other questions come up, but you point that out, and I think it's crucial.
And I think that the biggest concern that I have is that there are folks that would be incredibly, while this is, I'm sure, a fantastic tool, there are folks that would be incredibly nervous by the potential of this tool. And while it would be a great law enforcement opportunity, there's also even greater opportunity for law enforcement misuse here. And here we have spent the last, I don't know, how much time have we spent as a board? You and I, Commissioner Crowley, you and I, Commissioner Brown, before, working to ensure that the public's trust of law enforcement and at the same time, law enforcement's ability to be able to do their job. It's been a dance that we've been doing as a board for a long time. This is a tool that, while a great option and opportunity for law enforcement, also has the opportunity and possibility for law enforcement misuse. Not that I'm saying that I don't trust Sheriff Baldwin and his team, but there is some opportunity and some for some misuse that could happen. And I think that there are too many folks in the public, in the community, who would be very, very nervous by the possibility of what could happen with something like this. And I just think that there needs to be more review. I'm not 100% against the possibility of this happening at some point in the future, but being that I wasn't here last week, didn't have the opportunity to ask the questions that I should have or could have asked then, to vote for it right now and say yes right away, I can't do that. I wouldn't mind tabling it. I know that it's time sensitive, and I guess maybe if that means that we have to vote it down, whether it's Thursday or whatever, then I think that what we'll need to do is maybe bring this back up in the future. And maybe I'm a no vote then too, I don't know. But as of right now, I just can't do it today. And so I agree with you, and I'm kind of where you are at this point. Whether I'll be a no vote in the future, I don't know, but boy, we got to do a lot more research on this.
And I agree with you, Commissioner O'Grady, that I want to give Sheriff Baldwin an opportunity to take a little deeper dive with us on it. And I agree. I don't think there would be any ill intentions by design with this, with our sheriff department. But creating the resource itself can indirectly create more opportunities for profiling, or I'm not convinced that the data is secure, and that other nefarious efforts may be used to access that data and do other things, and it doesn't seem necessary. And I say that I appreciate those stories of where it really had an impact and helped to solve a crime. But I just, I'm not sure we are that prepared to take on the policy implications, and so I think it just needs more discussion. So I will agree with you that I will, out of deference to Sheriff Baldwin, I give an opportunity, but I can say right now I'm a no at this point. But I'll vote for the table and bring it back on Thursday.
I completely understand why Chief Gilbert and Sheriff Baldwin are looking at this technology. I understand why OSU and Arlington and some of the other law enforcement agencies around the community and probably around the state and around the country are looking at this technology. I just think that folks, whether it's county commissioners, city council members, and other local government administrators need to take a very serious look at the public policy implications around this technology to make sure that folks aren't just, accepting the technology without looking at the implications of the public policy around it, because it's got the potential to be great, it's got the potential to be very dangerous. So I think that's the thing. I'm sorry, Administrator Wilson, I kind of cut you off.
Prosecutor also wanted to
Oh,
say
the prosecutor
something.
also? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, Administrator.
Thank you, Chair, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Boyce. I just want to add, I think with the tabling, it would afford some additional time for Sheriff Baldwin and his team to provide some additional information regarding details around this. Is my understanding that the 18th would be when this would expire if there's no action taken, this opportunity.
Sorry, I dropped my phone too.
But I do, I know we have a current, and has been supported, we have license plate readers that are on our cruises, and it's been a long-standing thing that we've had in place in the sheriff's office. Is that correct, Chief Gilbert?
That's correct. That technology has been utilized by the sheriff's office for going on 15-plus years related to license plate readers on our cruisers. That is correct.
Well, and Chief and Dave Masterson, we're not generally around here, we're not in the habit of not supporting the sheriff's department and the resolutions that come before, us from the sheriff's department. And in the 13 and a half years I've been a county commissioner, there's been one resolution that the sheriff has presented that I've not supported. So, I mean, we're generally trying to work to be very collaborative with the sheriff's department. Not generally, we're always working to try to be very collaborative with the sheriff's department. This is just a public policy issue that we got to get right with, and we got to be on the same page with before we can move forward, I guess is kind of my attitude about it. And so, if we miss the deadline, I apologize, but we're just going to have to, while this is a great tool, it's also something that comes with a really serious public policy debate that we have to have if we're going to implement it. And so I get it. It certainly is a great possibility from law enforcement standpoint. We just can't move forward with it. Is somebody doing a pilot right now, Chief? I know you want to do a 1-year pilot. Is somebody else already doing a pilot, or has somebody already done a pilot?
Yeah, Reynoldsburg started off with a pilot for a 90-day period. I think they started with just a couple intersections and some cameras, and then their council approved based on the reduction they saw in daytime burglaries, the reduction they saw in violent crime. They decided to purchase more cameras. So I understand everybody's concerns. Obviously, this is there's always a give and a take when you look at new technology. To the concerns individuals have related to their First Amendment rights, their Fourth Amendment rights, and everything in between. So I understand where your concerns are, and we can get some more information. We can start discussing and having those discussions and look at revisiting this after more information is provided. If you guys wish that to be done, that's fine.
If there's any detail from Reynoldsburg, if there's any if they've done a report, or if there's any detail, that might be helpful as well. Sorry.
Yep.
Commissioners, one suggestion, a couple things, since the deadline is March 18th, that allows you to actually vote on it on the 17th. In the interim, one suggestion I would have, since Chief Gilbert did mention they have a policy connected to the pilot, is that we work with the sheriff's office at least to look at the policy, provide you some information that may put you, many of your concerns at rest, given what the policy states in terms of utilizing the information. Secondly, on the data storage piece, we'll look at the retention schedule, the third-party vendor piece, to see how that works, provide those answers to you on Thursday. And if you are comfortable, then you have the ability to vote.
All right, well, okay. take a look at that, but in the meantime, why don't we move to table this until Thursday?
Okay, move to table resolution 200-22 till Thursday,
March 17th.
March 17th.
All right. Second?
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 200-22 has been tabled.
Thank you for your time, Commissioners.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, sorry, community partnerships.
Resolution number 201-22. Resolution authorizing community partnership grant agreements with various statutory partners for the calendar year 2022 in the amount of $2,594,016.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. My name is Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Coordinator. This morning's resolution is regarding Community Partnerships' 6 statutory partners to receive funding for the 2022 calendar year. The 6 statutory partners are Columbus Public Health Department to administer TB treatment, Columbus Humane to investigate allegations of animal cruelty and neglect, Franklin Park Conservatory to provide horticulture education training to teens, Franklin County Agriculture Society to facilitate and organize the Franklin County Fair, Franklin County Public Health to expand public health nurse home visitation for pregnant women, and lastly, OSU Extension to provide workforce development, financial education, and life skills development. Joining us this morning online from Franklin County Public Health to discuss how these funds will benefit their organization is Assistant Health Commissioner and Director of Prevention and Wellness, Alex Jones. After the Assistant Health Commissioner's remarks, if there are no comments or questions, we respectfully request the approval of this resolution. And Assistant Health Commissioner, I'll turn it over to you.
Great, thank you so much, and good morning, everyone, and good morning, Commissioners. It's great to be with you today, and very happy to not be discussing COVID. So very exciting to chat about our, happy to always talk about COVID, but it's nice to talk about something else for a change. So our public health nurse-led home visiting program, this will be going into our 3rd year. We are very excited. Thank you for considering the expansion of this so that we can continue to serve Franklin County pregnant individuals and their families. So to date, we've been able to provide services for about 30 families. And with this expansion, we are, our plan is to be able to serve 60 families throughout 2022. So this program is administered, led by a public health nurse, and we'll also have a community health worker. And what our plan is that we will be doing a tiering system, so medical acuity, so making sure that each individual gets the services and care that is most appropriate for where they are in their pregnancy, postpartum, and beyond. So certainly happy to answer any questions that the commissioners might have of this program. It is being led by our maternal child health team, who has been really looking at standardization, assessments, social assessments, as well as healthcare, and in collaboration with Heart of Ohio Family Health Center of Whitehall, who have been our FQHC partner. So pending questions, certainly ask for your approval. Thank you.
All right. If there are
Sounds great. By the way, Jack O'Grady says hello.
Tell him I said hello.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 201-22.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 201-22 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Curtis. All right, sanitary engineers.
Resolution number 202-22. Resolution authorizing a final contract modification with the Ryder Company to close out the Century Acres Pump Station and Force Main project for a decrease of $23,770.29 for a total amount of $1,653,541.94.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Sanitary Engineer is requesting the authorization of a final contract modification with the Ryder Company to officially close out our Century Acres Pump Station and Force Main project. The Board of Commissioners contracted with the Ryder Company via Resolution 416-20 to provide labor, material, and equipment to construct a new pump station in Forest Main at Century Acres and to decommission and demolish the existing wastewater treatment plant, which was past its useful life. Throughout the course of the work, the Ryder Company conducted themselves in a very professional manner, resulting in a successful project that came in $23,770.29 under budget. Sanitary engineer is highly satisfied with the project and wishes at this time to formally close out the project with a final contract modification, reflecting the new contract value of $1,653,541.91. Pending any questions or comments, I respectfully request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 202-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 202-22 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 203-22. Resolution authorizing contract modification and extension with City Apparel Incorporated and Leo Myers Incorporated for staff uniforms in the amount of $80,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing. And joining me this morning is Marlise Ryan, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution seeks your approval of contract modification and extensions with City Apparel and Leo Myers. The county contracted with these two vendors in December of 2020 for the provision of staff uniforms to various county agencies. This will be a 6-month extension with a maximum financial obligation to the county of $80,000 between both vendors, and will modify the contracts to expand uniform offerings and to allow for a pricing increase of up to 1.5%. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 203-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 203-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 204-22. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $3,317,424.16.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 103 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. I will turn it over to Marlise Ryan. Good morning, Marlise.
Good morning, Megan, and good morning, Commissioners. One of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion's goals is to provide economic impact to support agencies to increase supplier diversity of goods and services of small businesses within Franklin County procurement. We have for your approval today 5 purchase orders presented to award to 3 small and emerging businesses, 1 women business enterprise, and 1 minority business enterprise, totaling $44,150.80. This week, the following agencies provided opportunities for equitable inclusion to small businesses: Public Facilities Management and the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you, Marlise. Pending any questions, Commissioners, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 204-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 204-22 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
All right. The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 205-22. Resolution authorizing an application to the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas for the appointment of the law firm of Isaac Wiles Burkholder LLC to assist the prosecuting attorney regarding pending litigation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution is the first step of a 2-step process outlined by Section 305.14 of the Revised Code for the employment of additional legal counsel. Pending approval of this resolution, a subsequent resolution will be submitted for your consideration authorizing the contract with Isaac Wiles Burkholder. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 205-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 205-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 20622, resolution appointing and reappointing members to the Franklin County Community Corrections Planning Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Walt Pesterfield, Chief Probation Officer for the Court of Common Pleas Adult Probation. This resolution seeks your approval of membership for the Franklin County Community Corrections Planning Board for current year 2022. The composition of the board remains largely the same, with only one new appointment, that is myself, for the Chief Probation Officer for the Common Pleas Adult Probation Department. The term of the board membership is for 1 year, and we have tentatively scheduled the first meeting for March 30th. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 206-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 20622 has been adopted. Resolution number 20722, resolution appointing and reappointing members to the Franklin County Criminal Justice Planning Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rochelle Pry, Director for the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. This resolution seeks your approval of membership for the Franklin County Criminal Justice Planning Board for calendar year 2022. The composition of the board remains largely the same, with only 2 new appointments, including Chief Walt Pesterfield, who is Chief of the Common Pleas Adult Probation Department, and Judge George Leach with the Juvenile and Domestic Court, who replaces the role previously held by Judge Elizabeth Gill. The term of the board membership is for 1 year, and we have tentatively scheduled that first meeting for March 30th. Pending any questions, we would ask for approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 207-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 20722 has been adopted.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. All right, Clerk, do we have any journalizations today?
Yes, Commissioner, we have 2. Case number ANX-13-22, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-13-22, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on March 4th, 2022. The petition is requesting to annex 6.2 acres from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on April 5th, 2022. The site is 4745 Big Run South Road, PID number 160-002508. And finally, as was journalized on January 6th, 2022, as Chair of the Franklin County Records Commission, Commissioner Kevin L. Boyce named Brittany A. Razik to serve as his primary designee. Commissioner Boyce has also named Emily Cooner as his alternate designee to the commission.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, are there any members of the media on the call that would have any questions for the commissioners or anyone else? All right, well, if there's none, I guess that would conclude our business for today. Good to see everybody. All right, see everybody next week. Thanks.